Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a lot of people said, Don, we haven't seen you that actual happy in a video in a long time, like yesterday's video when I announced that it's finally over. The no sale order is lifted. And don't get me wrong, that was a huge stepping stone to get cruising resuming once again. However, there still are some roadblocks out there, but at least we have a guideline of what we need to do. So the CDC issued, they said that no sale order is going to lift today. Today's Halloween, October 31st. Woo, happy Halloween, everybody. No one's allowed to go out and celebrate here in Canada, but, you know, happy Halloween anyway, I guess. We're turning Halloween into Easter. We're going around and hiding our tricks and treats now, I guess, in the house and turning it into our Easter egg hunt here on Halloween. But that's beside the point. Let's get on with this 40-page document. 40 pages on how to resume cruising again and what the cruise lines need to do. Now that's very daunting. When I say 40 pages, a lot of people, you know, their eyes roll back in their heads and they get this blank look on their face going, and of course it's all technical jargon, technical. So I'm going to dumb it down for us all because I'm a fairly dumb person myself. I just want to know the plain, here's the facts, here's the truth, this is what we need to do. I don't need any mumbo jumbo, I don't need your jargon, just tell me what we need to do and we'll get it done. So the first thing you need to know about this 40-page document is it doesn't even really say anything until page 20. The first pages are all just, this is what the no sale order was about, and then they have definitions. This is what we mean when we say person. This is what we mean when we say social distancing. So it's like 40 pages of that, of all the stuff that they've done in the past, and why the no sale order was there, and why it was issued, and what their feelings are. So it like right away the document is cut in half when you get to that point. And then really the other 20 pages can be pretty much summed up in like 4 pages, and the rest of the document is reiterating it or doubling down on it and repeating it again. And really it really comes down to a few things. First off, while the no sale order is lifted, any cruise ship wanting to operate in the United States now has to fill out a form, get it approved by the CDC, with a resumption to cruise plan. And that plan will now include test cruises, where they have to go out and they have to test their procedures and everything before they're allowed to apply to bring passengers, paying passengers on board. Now these cruises, don't get excited, it's going to be a very strict amount of people and a very strict level of who's going to go on these. Even the people going on, they all have to sign forms saying that they understand that they are a test subject and that they are going on to unproven safety protocols, and they're going on board to test these safety protocols. Now this cannot also include, it can include, you know, people who work for the cruise lines directly. It can be travel agents, etc. But nobody can be forced to go on one of these cruises as a part of their job. They cannot be a test subject as part of your job. So you're a travel agent working in Florida, we need you to get on one of these ships for us. Or you're working at our call center, you need to get on one of these ships for us and test it out. You can't do that, it has to be voluntary. And so they're going to be looking for people. They also, anybody who goes on this cruise has to have a signed waiver from a health professional saying that they don't have any underlying conditions that will exacerbate the possibility of them catching the virus. So that will eliminate a lot of people. I myself said, you know what? if I'm going on a very limited cruise and it would be provided for by the cruise company, wouldn't that be a good chance for me to get on board and say, hey guys, this is what they're doing. Here's the new protocols in place. This is the testing they're going to be doing. Here's what everything's involved. What do you guys think? Here's what it looks like. But I have had 3 lung surgeries. I've had a 1.5 years of chemo. I've had colon cancer. I've had liver cancer. I don't know if my health professional will say I don't have enough, I don't have those underlying conditions, even though I'm recovered and all my other tests, she might just say, nope, sorry, I'm not signing that piece of paper, which means I couldn't go. But, you can see how strict they're going to be in this cases. And to me, in a way, I'm thinking to myself, CDC, you want to test the actual market. You want to test in the general public. You don't want a bunch of 18 to 25-year-old super athletes in the peak physical conditioning as your test subject on these cruises, because they are less likely to ever get sick anyway. And even if they did get sick, you would never notice, because they'd probably all be asymptomatic. You might want to broaden out that aspect of your testing cruise. I mean, this is a testing cruise, and if you get rid of that clause, you may see more elderly people getting on the cruise. First of all, no one can be under 18, which is actually a good thing, because you should be a consenting adult, right? But, I'm willing to go on to be a test subject. I would take my precautions, and I would take the precautions on board very seriously. A person in my position would want this cruise to work out as best as possible, and I have underlying conditions. So I'm that perfect test subject to test the protocols and follow the procedures properly and do my social distancing and do the mask wearing and all that stuff. So technically, I would be their perfect test subject, but because of what they're saying with the restrictions, I probably can't go. And we're going to have to see nothing but really super healthy people getting on board in the prime of their life. And is that really a test? Is that really a test? So that's a concern I have going forward. Now, what does that mean for cruising, for getting us up and running? Well, they have to have these test cruises. The CDC requires testing of all crew members beforehand and all crew members during the cruise weekly, unless otherwise stipulated by the CDC. The cruise ships can be no longer than 7 days. The sailings can't go any longer than 7 days to begin with. Also, all passengers need to be tested before they get on, laboratory testing. So they're going to have to set up a laboratory system in the cruise terminals or the cruise ports to test all the passengers going on. And you know what? I've said it before, I totally agree with this. I don't want to have a note from 5 days ago going on saying that I passed my test. I want that test in the terminal. And you know what? You want to give me a test every second day on the cruise? I'm okay with that too. Swab my mouth all you want. Go for it. I'm good with that. And all passengers need to be tested on the way off the cruise ship once again. So nothing really crazy about that. It's kind of what we expected to get the cruise ships up and running. And I'm one of those people say the more tests, the merrier. I'm okay with that. So, but what does that mean again for us? Now, cruise ships are going to be sailing in December, more than likely. Thing is, it's not going to be us. It's not going to be passengers sailing by the looks of things in December. It's going to be these test cruises. This could take 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. We don't know how long the CDC is going to watch these cruises before they give them the okay, the go-ahead to have paying passengers on board. So also on these cruises, they're going to have to go through the full regimen. They're going to have to show embarkation, disembarkation. They're going to have to show the type of shore excursions that people are going to go on and test those. They're going to have to show the dining. They're going to have to show, spacing on board. They're going to have to show entertainment venues. They have to go through all these Prove to CDC representatives that it's not going to spike. It's not going to throw everything out of whack. And then they might be able to get the okay to bring on passengers. And even when they do that, the CDC has given the right to set the cruise length, the amount of passengers on board, and the ports of call. So the CDC is giving themselves a ton of authority here. But as far as the cruise lines are concerned, a little lessening restrictions is a lot better than not even being able to try and set sail. So that's where the cruise lines are now. Now there's a whole bunch more to read into all this and a whole bunch more, but I just wanted to get you going on those test cruises because a lot of people I know have cruises in December. And now that I'm reading this and the amount of test cruises they have to do, and it takes 28 days to bring a ship into port, if they're outside of U.S. waters, even before they can do these test cruises, I'm going to say that I'm going to start to see an awful lot of December cruises canceled. And those cruises we're going to see in December are going to be the beginning of the test cruises. So that's where we are for now. What do you guys think? Are you in favor? Are you in favor of all these testing? Do you think these test cruises are a good idea? Do you agree with me that if anybody wants to get on those cruises and it shouldn't matter their underlying conditions just because we want to test the general public? You're not going to set these restrictions up for anybody paying to go on board. So wouldn't you want to go out and do an actual test of the right people who would actually be cruising at any given time? The normal percentage of people cruising. Most gung-ho cruisers are over 50. So if you put cruises out there and everyone's 40 and under, it's really not going to be a true representation and a true test. So that's just my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up? Maybe hit the subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.